Thanks for joining us. My name is Jamie Houston. I work for Crave Scotland. Crave Scotland is the public body that supports the arts, screen and creative industries across Scotland, and we distribute funds from the Scottish Government and the National Lottery. I'm going to focus on the funding that's probably most relevant to most of you today, which is the National Lottery funding, the Open Fund. We do have other things, but it's important to know that across our funding initiatives, we have 4 priorities that were issued last summer. These are environmental sustainability, EDI, qualities, diversity and inclusion, fair work and international, very top line headlines, and we can talk a little bit about how they might refer to your project. There we go. So yes, the Open Fund for Individuals is probably most relevant to most of you. We have 2 funds, Open Fund for Individuals and the Open Fund for Organisations, otherwise known as Sustaining Creative Development. The Open Fund for Organisations is, well, White Days is an example of an organisation that's applied for funding and been successful. Where it's more suited to festivals, big sustainable organisations that have projects running within them. I'm going to focus on the Open Fund for Individuals today because I think that's probably what most artists are interested in. This is a massive slide talking a little bit about what the Open Fund for Individuals can do. Really, it's an open fund. It's there for us to help you unlock your creative ambitions, take creative risks. That can look like anything, really. It can be an album, it can be tours, it can be time to write, it can be research and development, that type of work. Really, it's anything that has a creative backbone and a creative focus behind it. It's not really a fund that's designed for commercial sustainability. So when you come to things like, to use an example, an album or an EP or something, if you were to come to Creative Scotland for the creative element, which might be the writing, might be the recording, that kind of development, it's not so much about the PR and the marketing, distribution and that type of thing. That's kind of label, commercial side of things. We are very focused on, believe it or not, as Creative Scotland, the creative element of your projects. So that's what the Open Fund is designed for. I'd love to go into more depth, but I'm aware I've only got something like 6 minutes to do this today. So I can talk to each of you about specific projects after the session, of course. These are just a few examples of artists and projects that we've got behind recently. As you can see, I've got a wee list of the type of projects we see recording. It's been a big demand on recording in the last couple of years for obvious reasons. Time to write, develop work. Videos. Again, there's a big shift in our experience into visual content. Of course, there are many reasons to have visual content. It could be for PR and marketing and that kind of sustainable development. But also, we view it as a creative opportunity as well. Creating videos is a creative activity. Tours, as I said, conferences, etc. I think it's important to remember for our Open Fund, essentially, we've got 4 areas of criteria that we focus on. We've got the artistic element, which I've been talking about a little bit. We've got public engagement, which is an important factor because we're a public funder. We've got project management, really, risks and mitigation behind them, evaluation, timelines, those types of things. And crucially, of course, the budget itself. So, as Creative Scotland, quite often we're asked for 100% of the budget. That's fine. We don't punish people for that. But it kind of helps if you've got other forms of income. That's something to think about as well. That's less easy to achieve these days. We understand with less income, gigs are more hard to come by, etc. But it's important just to remember those 4 areas that we're looking at in terms of criteria. Artistic, why now is the time to come in for funding? What you're going to do with that funding moving forward. Public engagement, who you're going to reach is public. If it's research and development, that might be trickier to talk about, but there's an eventual reach, whether it be through an album, etc. And and project management and finance kind of speak for themselves. So again, this is really whirlwind stuff. I'm here all day, and I'd be more than happy to talk to anyone about projects that you may have going or planning. I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Becci, from the PRS Foundation now. Thank you.
Oh gosh, Jamie, you're like way taller than me. Okay, sorry everyone. Clearly not an artist. Yes, so I'm Becci from PRS Foundation. We are the UK's leading funder of new music and talent development. As you can see, we've invested a lot of money over this a long period of time. I think we're 20 years nearly. Or 21 perhaps. So yeah, leading funder of new music and talent development across the entirety of the UK. These are our funding priorities. So support the creation, performance and promotion of outstanding new music in any genre. This is our number one. We want to know and we want to support really outstanding songwriting. That is what we are there for. 2, to enable you to take the next steps in your careers, so you're going from A to B, you're on a forward trajectory. And 3, inspire audiences is actually now to reach audiences. I should have updated the slide. This is, we don't want your music and your creation to exist in a silo. It needs to be able to go out to audiences. So how are you going to get that music out to your audiences? And this is across all of our funds. We have lots of funds. I'm going to kind of do a real fast whistle-stop tour of some of them which are likely to be relevant to you today. So please forgive me if I talk too fast. I'm also Welsh, so I can't stop myself from doing that. So yeah, here are our funding programs. So we have the Open Fund for Organisations Talent Development Partner Network, of which Wide Days is one, New Music Biennial. So I'm not going to, as Jamie didn't also focus on organisations, I'm not going to particularly focus on that, but for creators we have the Open Fund for all career levels, Women Make Music, which is our gender targeted support fund, Early Career, Next Steps, which is PPL Momentum, the Hitmaker Fund, the Composers Fund, and our international support, such as the International Showcase Fund. Creative Scotland works with us on the International Showcase Fund too. Some examples of people we funded, or some sneaky Pete's, as we all know. And this is how we kind of see the pipeline, so how you can move through our funds. So you're likely probably going to come in on Open Fund first and then work your way up through the next levels and through it to international. So first things first, this is our kind of initial route in, the Open Fund and Women Make Music. It's up to £5,000, all genres, all backgrounds, all career levels, all across the UK, 2 deadlines a year. If you're not so good at written applications, you can do a video application. This is for recording, touring. You can kind of take time out to create. You might be doing an EP. The one thing to note on our Open Fund and Women Make Music, you cannot apply just for marketing and PR. Our number one priority is the creation and performance of new music. It's not kind of you marketing that per se, it's about the creation. So you need to be applying to us for that creation, and then you can apply for some marketing and PR support on top of that under Open Fund and Women Make Music, which is kind of where a stumbling block happens quite a lot of the time. And across all of our funds, we don't 100% fund. So unlike Creative Scotland, we expect you to contribute, whether that's through generating income from like ticket sales, merch sales, streaming, royalties, all of those things. So yeah, the next deadline is September 22. You can only apply once per calendar year. By that we mean 1st of January to the 31st of December, then it resets. So yeah, the next deadline is September 22. Then we have the Composers Fund. So this is for composers who are kind of quite further along in their careers. It is specifically on the classical side. There's 2 deadlines a year. And as you can see, recording, touring, international co-commissions, international development. So this is more about like kind of CPD as a composer rather than creating something specific. The one that most people are interested in, the PPL Momentum Music Fund. So we call it a crucial career tipping point. That means that you, at that point, are going to be sustainable, or as sustainable as you possibly can be after this funding. You cannot come back to us for any other funding once you have this. So really think is this now the time that I'm going to kind of skyrocket and I need this funding to do that? Because otherwise, it's not the right time for you. So really think about that. There's 4 deadlines a year. 7th of June is the next one, 6 p.m. And we can fund marketing, touring, recording, and promo. So that's why people tend to come in for that, because you can come in for marketing. But don't come in at the wrong time on this one. And please speak to my team if you need further advice. The Hitmaker Fund is for behind-the-scenes songwriters and producers. So this is not your artistic project. This is you writing and producing for other people. This is about CPD for you, developing. You can do international work. You can do songwriting camps. You can kind of studio leases, all those kinds of things. And we really, really encourage a wide variety of people to apply for this fund. We know there's some amazing women and minority gender talent working in behind the scenes, but we just need you to apply. So please chat to me or my team if you need further information. Yeah, next deadline is likely to be in September. And then finally, we have our International Showcase Fund. So we support events such as South by, Folk Alliance, Canadian Music Week, Eurosonic. You have to be invited to play those showcases first to be eligible. We have rolling deadlines. So there's a few kind of caveats on International Showcase Fund now. If you are going to In Real Life, you can apply for a digital contingency should you not be able to attend. So that is you creating a digital version of your showcase that you can showcase your work if there's a reason why you can't attend, i.e. COVID. We can also support your manager to go. We would always recommend you do that. You know, these showcase events are really busy. You need someone in the room to network, so you can apply for them too. And then top tips. How relevant is your project? Have you read the guidelines? Really, have you read the guidelines? Don't just tick the box to say you have. Have you read the guidelines? Don't rush it like I'm doing now. Have it read over by at least 2 other people. So, you know, one that works in music, one that doesn't. Does it make sense? Think of it as like a business plan. Like you should know what your campaign looks like. You should know what the finances look like. Otherwise, you're going to lose money, right? So think about it logically. It's like a business plan. Pitch to us. What are your objectives? Make it clear. We want to know how this is going to take you from A to B. So the who, what, why, when, where. Why is really important. You know, give us specifics. If you're going to work with a certain studio, with a certain producer, why? Who are they? Why particularly that person? Why are they going to elevate your career? So really tell us about that. And make sure your budgeting is detailed. You know, I don't want to see $3,000 going to PR. I want to see why, what is the rate? Who are they? The same with like studios, day rate. How much is that going to cost? I don't know, 250 times 5. Things like that. So yeah, and as I say, not 100% costs, and make sure that your budget balances. And that's it. Visit our website. Thank you very much.